let's talk about Nike. So it's kind of interesting that Nike just reported a quarterly loss, and this is kind of funny for people who kind of watch from the outside. We see all these arguments happening within social media that if this is this, then that can't be possible. So one of the arguments that you see from like the Colin Kaepernick group, the pussy that wants to, fight everything and is a complete, absolute racist piece of shit pussy. Everybody says, well, Nike is this, and, it can't be this because after all, Nike is still making lots of money and their stock prices and everything else. So we're going to put that to bed here real quick, and let's go through Nike over the past, 30 years, because I think the last anything that I owned with Nike on it was my eighth grade basketball shoes for basketball. And quickly within just even that time frame, 43, about to be 44, with the time that, from the time I was 12 or 13 years old, I realized without any political stance in my body that Nike was not a good company, right? So they're perfect. They're a perfect example of absolute hypocritical pussies when it comes to the fact that they enslave groups of people at slave wages in foreign countries in order to maximize their profits to sell their product in the United States. So here you can see where 38% loss, right? Now the joking side of me, actually, or the sarcastic asshole side of me says, does that 38% include the losses of all the looting that happened recently from the freeloaders, who just decided that, fuck the police and they're going to go after, Nike and steal their favorite Nike shoes, regardless of race, right? There's just as many white people as are burning to shit to the ground as there are any other race, okay? It just goes back to the basic idea that there is a large percentage of our culture here in the United States that really believes that they don't have to work for anything, that they can punch a clock at Subway, get paid $30 an hour, and then reap the rewards of everything that they feel like they deserve for free. Okay, so Nike's down 38%, and good for them. I hope they go out of business, okay? Because the first story, which is from Forbes, right? So Forbes, I don't want to be biased towards any one person who thinks that, one news source is based on one specific political view, which I'm sure they are. It doesn't matter. It's just how they write their stories. But I think that all media is just in it for themselves. So the idea behind this show being, cut out the bullshit of the politics and then just let's look at the very basics of what's going on. Use your fucking brain and make a decision for yourself. If you want to be a Crip or a Blood from a political standpoint, good for you. The lemmings always need a place to run to. All right. So Nike lost 38%, which in turn is hundreds of millions of dollars lost. And that's key as we go through this next part, because Nike has a new CEO, right? And, the very next step for Nike is, hey, I know, actually, let's go back to this. Let's go to Wikipedia. So Nike has contracted with more than 700 shops around the world, but the key to this is, where are they located? Indonesia, China, Taiwan, India, Thailand, Vietnam, Pakistan, Philippines, and Malaysia. Okay, so we actually contract with people from overseas, and the reason why we do so, and I'm never, ever shying away from the fact that we use foreign labor for two reasons. When we contract with foreign labor, one, we know that we're going after cheaper labor, and we understand the importance of the value that a task brings versus our cost or my cost of how much I'm willing to pay for it. Okay. So two is work ethic. And I also know that I can contract out to Bangladesh for somebody who's capable in coding or whatever that case may be. And I'm probably going to get a better job. They're going to be more diligent about getting the job done in the time frame that's required for whatever that project is. And there's really never going to be complaints about, oh, my toe hurts or whatever, and my cat's sick and I need to take today off because I'm a fucking pussy, right? American workers, sorry, we're pussies. We don't have a good work ethic. We think that everything that has to be handed to us, we never make enough money, and our employers are big bad people. Let's get back to Nike. So Nike has shops in over 700 locations, but mainly Indonesia, China, Taiwan, India, Thailand, Vietnam, Pakistan, Philippines, and Malaysia. They're doing that to get cheaper labor to maximize their profits for their investors. Okay, so what does all of that mean? The very next step, as soon as the person who is scraping together 2 pennies to be able to make Nike shoes and they take a loss, the very next thing that's going to happen is they're going to lay those people off. They're not going to take a hit at the top. You can bet Mr. CEO Pussy Donahoe or Donahue or whatever the fuck his name is, he's not going to take a hit. John Donahoe, I bet he's still going to make a few $1 million this year. Okay, regardless of what Nike does, he's still going to be able to maintain his position as the CEO. And what they're going to do instead is they're going to cause a Philippine family to maybe starve, where the Philippines, if you don't have money, you don't have health care. Okay, so let's back up and let's start putting this all together. There's a company, it's a pussy company named Nike that makes shoes. They're really expensive shoes. And all of the people on the extreme pussy crybaby left, they just, their commitment to this whole racist bullshit that they're standing behind is that Colin Kaepernick, the biggest pussy of them all, who actually wants to kneel for the national anthem and at our flag that my brothers in the military were buried under, okay, because he's doing it for a good cause. He's doing it because he's a pussy, okay. The extreme crybaby pussies on the left want to use this pussy guy Colin Kaepernick as the excuse of why they can actually be fighting racism and police brutality and whatever that blanket cause is that makes you feel better at night. Okay. So he's sponsored by Nike, the pussy company at the top. They pay millions of dollars off of the slave labor that they're pushing through these foreign countries, and now they're in trouble. They're in trouble because they went after a demographic who is a bunch of freeloaders. They want everything for free. And now when they couldn't get everything for free and everything started happening, and there was a lot of great protests and great causes for the Floyd protests, and I get it and I support it 100%. I believe that a lot of things need to change, but it's how you cause that change. The causation versus what causes the change are two very different things. Now, in this case, when the freeloader pussies decided that it was their opportunity, what they did was they broke into all of these Nike stores. They realized that they didn't have to buy it because they could just steal it. There's plenty of videos out on the internet of all of these freeloaders of all different races breaking into Nike stores and stealing their shit. They're stealing from the same group that in the same breath or the next breath they turn around and try and create this idea that Nike is a great company based on the pussy Colin Kaepernick. All right. So that's all we have for this one. Think for yourself. Stop allowing the media to tell you how to think. I don't care if it's Fox News, Breitbart, CNN, MSNBC, NBC, CBS, it doesn't matter. They are all trying to train you to not think for yourself and think the way that they are telling you to think. Be smarter than that. If not, you're probably not qualified to vote, much less do anything else. Join me on Parler at Bradley Bennett, YouTube, The Bradley Bennett Show, and Facebook, The Bradley Bennett Show. We'll see you on the next show. Like it, love it, subscribe, or get the fuck out. It's your choice. After all, that's your freedom.